notable additions to the world champion Laker roster. Sixth Man of the Year winner Montrezl Harrell coming over from the Clippers. Dennis Schröder, Sixth Man of the Year runner-up, acquired in a trade with the Thunder. And how about 11-year veteran Wesley Matthews leaving the Bucks for the Lakers? And the big man, not Powell, his brother Mark Gasol, coming back to the team that drafted him 13 years ago.
Finally, he's back.
He is back with the Los Angeles Lakers. So listen, Danny Green was dealt last week. I want to start with Wesley Matthews. He's expected to fill Danny Green's role. Do you like this move, Brez?
I do, especially when you take into account what it costs the Lakers. It's what is called the biannual exception. It's about $3.5 million for this upcoming season. That's a good value, especially when you consider the average NBA salary is over $9 million. So you get that wing defender that you lost when you traded Danny Green away, a guy who can also make threes. He's played for good teams, especially the last couple of years with Milwaukee. Probably picked up a thing or two with that franchise. And now, though, the big step up to the Lakers. Will he be a starter? That's really the only question. If not, he will be very quickly coming off that bench for the Lakers.
Yeah, you kind of led me to what I was going to ask, BT. One, if you like it, and do you expect him to just slide right into that starting role where Danny was?
You know, I love it for everything Bresnahan just said. The idea that he's tough, he's a 3-and-D guy. He's about a 38% three-point shooter over his career. And the fact, as Brad said, it didn't cost the Lakers a lot of money. Now, whether or not he starts, based on what one coach told me from the Lakers, first they want to see what the team is looking like. Then they want to get to practice and decide from that point on who should start, who should come off the bench. Wesley will be in there for that role. He'll have a good chance at doing that. But we won't know until maybe December, 20th or so, something like that.
BT, are you tired? Did you just agree with Brez this early in the show?
Well, I agreed and disagreed.
Okay.
How can you not?
Okay.
It's Bresnahan.
BT, you're falling asleep.
BT,
He's put a lot of late nights. I appreciate it.
It's being nice to you right off the bat. All right, and it's now official. The Lakers and Cavs, that deal is done. Sending JaVale McGee to Cleveland. Thank you, JaVale, for all you did the last few years. We appreciate it. A couple years in exchange for Jordan Bell and Alfonso McKinney. The deal is all about making cap space for the Lakers to do a bigger move. And Brez, BT, Marc Gasol is now a Laker. Different than JaVale and Dwight, but at 35, he can still defend. High IQ on the basketball court, a brilliant passer, and now they have that 5 that can bring you outside the three-point line. Brez, he shoots 38% from 3. He's really changed his entire game. Do you like it?
I do. And you talk about JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, guys who gave the Lakers a great year, helped them get to that championship. But then again, they weren't used that much in the actual finals. And JaVale really wasn't used after the first round. Remember, Markieff Morris started being put in the starting lineup in his place in that second round against the Houston Rockets. Now you bring on a guy like Marc Gasol, different from both those guys because he can shoot outside the paint, period. He's got three-point touch. He's worked hard on it, too. It's not like he was like Powell, who could always shoot outside from day one. Now you have a guy who's really worked on being outside that arc, can draw the defense out, and can still block shots and get some rebounds as well.
And BT, you go from a vertical game with JaVale and Dwight, where it was all about lobs. It wasn't about spacing the floor, protecting the rim, to Marc Gasol. Do you like the fit?
I like it a lot. One thing he can do is he's not a bad defender. Let's not forget, he was the Defensive Player of the Year, I think, a couple years ago. It's different than what Dwight Howard did and JaVale. They block shots. He's more of a guy that uses his body, gets in good position. And one thing I kept thinking about, there are a lot of really good centers from Europe. He's a European center, and he knows how these guys play and how they kind of flop at times. So perhaps he'll just flop right back. It'll be a flopping game between the European centers because they'll play good defense against each other.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're getting excited. We're not done yet. Sixth Man of the Year, staying in L.A., but he's changing teams. I know you guys couldn't believe it when it went down. Montrezl Harrell leaving the Clippers for the purple and gold. He averaged 18.6 points per game last season, 58% from the field. He's the only player with more than 1,000 points and 400 rebounds off the bench each of the last 2 seasons, and he led the NBA with 28 double-doubles during that span. It's official. Laker fans rejoice. We welcome Montrezl Harrell to the show. Thanks for being here. I'm sure it's been a long couple of days. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So happy to have you. When you hear Montrezl Harrell of the Los Angeles Lakers, how does that sound?
She got a great ring to it, sounds like to me.
You ever picture yourself in that purple and gold? Because it's here.
I got a couple of edits that's been done. A lot of people that do animations for me have been doing some great jobs for me.
I know. Isn't Twitter and social media great? Like, the minute you signed, there was, like, you in a jersey. It was pretty awesome.
Man, photo shopping and editor now is crazy.
So, Trez, can you share what went into your decision to potentially pass up more money to play in another city or to leave the Clippers where you had so much success to join the Lakers?
You know, my choice was really just, you know, from my inner circle, my family, you know, just talking and looking over the decisions that we had on the table. And we just felt like just coming and playing the purple and gold was the best choice. And, you know, I definitely felt like it's the best choice for me. So that's what we went with. And, you know, I'm happy to be a Laker.
From the moment the season ended, were you talking with your family and your inner circle about the next step?
No. As soon as the season ended, I actually went home and took the time to actually grieve and be with my family and actually mourn the loss of my grandmother. And then after that, I just was being a dad, as I'm continuously still doing, man. That's all I was doing, just being around my kids and just that love and that energy. That's all I've been doing. And when free agency came about, that's when, you know, I started getting into the talks with my agent. But, you know, I left the basketball to, you know, what I've done and what I produce and left out there. And that's all I could do.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers to you and your family. I know you lost your grandmother in July while you were in Orlando. What did she mean to you?
Everything. Everything in the entire world. I still have multiple, you know, pieces with her. Everything that I do is, you know, going to praise her name and, you know, continue to take care of my family and my loved ones, how I've been doing, you know, since I was 16, 17. And it's still tough to this day. But, you know, it's still going to be one of those, you know, growing processes, one of those things that I'm going to have to take one day at a time.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And there's no question she's very, very proud of you. Now we transition to basketball. You know, how excited are you for this opportunity to play with LeBron James, an all-time great?
I'm extremely and, you know, really honored once. And, you know, I'm ready to get going, honestly, man. I can't wait for training camp to kick off and, you know, actually, you know, throw that practice jersey on and we go in there and get to work, really.
Trez, how many times have you visualized running that high pick and roll with Braun over the last couple days?
Man, I've envisioned high pick and rolls, baseline plays, all of it, lobs, everything, man. You know, like I said, I'm just ready to get going, man. This is a great feeling, and I'm just, you know, happy to be here.
I hear you on that. Listen, so you play against Anthony Davis these past 5 years. He's in New Orleans and then L.A., played him 4 times last year, to now playing with the game's most versatile big. What do you envision that looking like, and how does your game complement his?
Like I said, I'm just doing anything and everything I can to help complement these guys what they already do well, man. They've already shown and proven that they can win a championship without the, you know, pieces that we've added this year. So I'm just coming in looking to do anything I can to complement that chemistry that these guys already have built.
Trez, we're a Lakers set here, and even we were unanimous in voting you 6th man of the year. So you're coming off an incredible season. You're winning that award, and you've always been a let my work speak for itself kind of player. But what did this award mean to you personally when you really sat back and thought about it?
It's kind of one of those funny situations. It's kind of one of those things that it kind of hurts a little bit just because I lost my grandmother, and we kind of had these talks, you know, before losing her. So it's one of those things that kind of hurts and stings, but at the same time, it just made me, you know, change my mindset and to be even one of those players that's still working. You know, how they approach to the game is going to, you know, enhance even more and just speak even more for itself. You know, that's what I've always been known for. That's always what, you know, people have, you know, first said as how hard he works. And I'm just going to take that to a whole extremely different level because it's definitely one of those things that still hurt me to this day, not being able to, you know, take that trophy home and show it to my grandmother.
You know, your game's evolved every single year. How driven are you to continue to improve?
Still continuously every day. I'm got another 1 or 2 workouts set for today. So, this game is continuously changing. And, I don't want to be one of those players that, that label as can only do this one thing, because once you get that label, it's pretty hard to get off of you. And now it cuts you, in half as a player, no matter what. And I never wanted to be looked at as one of those players coming into this game. I want to, always look at myself as a person that, can do multiple things in this game whenever asked, whenever needed. That's the way I always approach the game. That's the way I always look at my game. And, the things that I do well, I enhance those things, but the things that I don't do well, I work extremely hard on, 2-3 times harder than what I already do well.
Brez, last thing, and I got to be honest, if that's okay with you, you were always a player that drove us Laker fans absolutely crazy because of how hard and how well you played against them every damn time. Right. It would be like, I can't stand Trez, but man, I'd love him in a Laker uniform. And then when the signing was announced, Laker Twitter goes nuts. It celebrates. I know how excited Laker fans are. What message do you have for Laker Nation?
Well, the only message that I have is, now you guys don't have to hate me. Now you can love me.
hey, it was always a lot of love. Just so much respect.
Yes, sir. Right. Thank you so much.
All right, Trez. So happy to have you, and thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it, and hope to see you soon.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
He's a Laker, but I just remember so many times going, it kills us. God, I wish he could be a Laker. BT, listen, you covered him for years. Not only did the Lakers sign Trez for 2 years, they got him away from the Los Angeles Clippers. He was part of the heart and soul, especially that bench with Lou Williams. How surprising was this for you, and what kind of player are they getting? What kind of guy?
I was truly surprised because I didn't hear his name come up until the very end of that day where it was starting to happen. The one thing I do know about Trez that really impressed me a lot, when he first got there, he was a third-string center for the Clippers. So after games were over, he would head back to Staples Center to the practice facility to work on his game at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock. He's always worked to improve, just like he said, and it made him into the player he is today. And he just told you in the interview he was going to work on it again after the interview session was over with you guys. So that tells me how dedicated he is, how driven he is. Laker fans will love him because I enjoy watching him play. And I really enjoyed watching him progress as a player and as a young man over the years with the Clippers.
Good stuff, BT. Brez, what does he add to this Laker roster when you look at it?
Well, I think, first of all, the motor. I mean, just a high-energy, high-octane way of playing the game, and I always appreciate that. Like you, it's kind of like, wouldn't it be something if the Lakers could get him?
Yeah.
And also some consistency, all right? You had Dwight and JaVale, and they kind of do their thing in the game. Sometimes JaVale wouldn't finish the game. Sometimes Anthony Davis would. But you never quite knew what you would get from the Lakers centers. Here, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get at least 15 points and close to 10 rebounds every single night, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the coaching staff decides. And like BT, I was shocked when this is the guy the Lakers got with their big mid-level exception.
I didn't see it coming.
No, I kind of aimed downward. I thought Joe Harris would be a nice shooter. Davis Bertans would be a nice big man who can also hit threes. I thought for sure he was going to stay with the Clippers for 3 years, $40 million, $45 million, something like that. For him to come to the Lakers with the full mid-level, that's a big get for the Lakers. Nice job by Rob Pelinka.
Great description, too, motor. That's exactly what he has. All right, we've talked. It's first reported over the weekend by the Athletics' Shams. Free agent Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal with the Lakers. Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul tells The Athletic. And then when you see this, you know it's on. Right after that, LeBron. Yes, sir. Congrats, my brother. So with the loss of Danny Green, Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo, how important was it for the Lakers to bring back KCP, Brez, especially after how he performed in the playoffs?
Remember that first game of the playoffs? He was, 0 for 9, scored 1 point. Everybody was so down on him. From that time on, he really proved his worth. And we said before the playoffs, we said if KCP plays the best ball of his career, over a 2-month span, the Lakers have a real chance of winning the championship, and it happened. This is a much-deserved raise for him. Remember, his first year at the Lakers, he made about $18 million. Second year, he dropped down to about $12 million. So this deal, 3 years, $40 million, very equitable, I think, for both sides. About $13.3 million a year makes sense to me. He was making about 8.5 last season. Deserves a nice raise from that because he was so good in the playoffs. Remember the last 3 games of the finals, averaged about 15, 16 points. Really helped put the nail in the Miami team. And nice job, KCP. And if LeBron is endorsing it, that right there, that's good sign number 1 right there.
Yeah, I agree with you, President BT. Listen, KCP basically, he solidified his role as a starter in the bubble. Do you think that played a role in Avery Bradley going to Miami, BT?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I'm not sure why Avery opted out for the exact same deal that he would have gotten from the Lakers for $5 million. That's basically on him and his agent. I think KCP's situation was just different because one thing about KCP is he's versatile. He can defend point guards, shooting guards, wing players, but he also is an Iron Man. He plays in a lot of games. He rarely sits out. And because he's a good defender and can shoot the ball very well, and when he is missing shots, he doesn't stop shooting. As Kobe Bryant once said, you can't make him if you don't shoot him. And KCP would shoot him.
Hey, great reference, BT. Let's not forget, as you alluded to, Geet, he did not have a starting job. You know, it was Avery Bradley's. So he basically took over the starting gig, took a little bit of getting used to during the seeding portion of the bubble. And then that first playoff game, not so good as we said. But beyond that, he really settled in as a starter for the Lakers.
Even when Avery got hurt in the season and they went 17-3 in those 20 games as KCP as a starter, Avery was the starter when he came back.
Yeah. Yeah, so KCP to brush all that aside and say, all right, forget it.
Got to get a lot of props.
We're in the playoffs. We're in the bubble. I got to do this. He did it.
Another piece of the band is back together. I'm talking Blues Brothers. We're talking Lakers. Markieff Morris tweeted, "Run it back, Lake Show." I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was great news to wake up to.
Yeah.
Because every Laker fan last night, whether it was friends or whether it was on Twitter, everyone's wondering, can you still get Markieff? Do they have enough to get him? Where's he going? We need him. How big was it for them to get him back, President, at this price?
Yeah, vets men, about $2.5 million is what he's going to make next season. And good for the Lakers. And good for Markieff, too. Obviously, he enjoyed it here. He and his agent presumably looked around, and this is the best deal, or maybe a similar deal to what they'd be getting elsewhere. Why not come back to the Lakers? Let's not forget, he was kind of the surprise starter in that Houston series and helped close out the Rockets. Scored 16 points in that Game 5. Kind of got rid of that pesky team right there. Good deal for the Lakers again, and I'm sure Markieff is appreciative too.
And BT, listen, his stock was rising, especially with Laker fans during that playoff run, as Brez mentioned. He shot the 3-ball extremely well. He played himself into the rotation. He was a big part of the win. When that happens, guys usually play themselves into a huge contract. So I think Laker fans, we all appreciate him staying here. Are you surprised?
A little bit. But I think the market was getting really, really dry for him and some players. So in this case, Markieff knew the best place for him was with the Lakers. But how about this? There's a guy named Anthony Davis who wanted him back. He wanted him back because he's tough, because he plays defense, he rebounds, he can shoot 3, he can open the court, and again, he's a versatile player. One thing the Lakers really love having and have had success with is players that can play offense and play defense and don't mind being a good teammate and in the locker room.
Yeah, he and Montrez, some good bully ball coming up with 100%.
Those two. And let's call it what it is. He and his twin, Marcus, are very tight. Marcus got paid $64 million for 4 years with the Clippers. They share a bank account. So Markieff is doing just fine, Brez. But how about that? What a score for the Lakers front office. Listen, Marcus Morris is a great player. And the Clippers did the right thing by keeping him. But if you're getting Markieff for the cheap, it's a good deal.
Yeah, that price surprised me. $16 million a year times 4 years for the Clippers and Marcus Morris. Marcus might be slightly better, no doubt about it. He didn't have a great playoff run for them necessarily, but Markieff at the veterans minimum. We've mentioned Rob Pelinka's name a couple times already. I'm going to say it again. This guy is making it happen for the Lakers. It's only, his second offseason without Magic Johnson, and he is showing the NBA world. He did last year when he acquired Anthony Davis. A little bit of a gamble, gave away 3 first-round picks, some good young talent. But yet again, he is showing the NBA world he is a force to be reckoned with in terms of executives.
All right, now with all the fun additions, there's always some sadness with those who move on. Rajon Rondo, Atlanta Hawks. I'm glad he's going to the East.
It's a good deal for him.
Avery Bradley, Miami Heat. Dwight Howard, We'll talk about that one. 76ers, JaVale McGee trade to Cleveland, and Danny Green traded with OKC. He's now in Philadelphia. So you win a title, you feel sentimental. Dwight posted this awesome post on Instagram. LA, thank you. It was truly a pleasure being back in LA and winning a championship. I am very grateful to the Buss family, the Rambus family, the Pelinkas, the entire Laker organization, Laker Nation. I love you. Thank you for your support all year. This season was filled with emotion, and you guys stood strong with us all year. To my bros, we overcame a lot and won together. Thank you for the great memories we shared this season. I am forever grateful. We will always be champs. Nobody can take that away from us. Perfectly said. Dwight, we appreciate you. And Rajon Rondo posted this on Instagram. Thank you to the Lakers organization, Jeannie and Rob, for giving me the opportunity to play for an incredible franchise. The professionalism and support from Frank, the coaching staff, and support staff is something I'm truly grateful for. With my guys, there's an amazing brotherhood that only we know. To the fans, thank you for welcoming me with open arms from day one and showing me love. Being a part of Lake Show was something special, and I'm proud we brought it back to you. Now, what's next? Man, hated him when he was on the Celtics, and then we grew to love him as a Laker. He's only the second player to ever win a ring with both the Lakers and the Celtics, joining Clyde Lovelet, by the way. He did that back in 1954. Oof. BT was only a couple years old when the Lakers were still in Minneapolis. What will you remember, BT? What will you remember most about Rondo's time in L.A.?
Playoff Rondo.
That was my answer.
You know what? But here's the key to it. He hated being called Playoff Rondo.
Couldn't stand it, right?
Hey, I don't care. Playoff Rondo, that's who you were. That's who you are. No, he was at his best when the games were at their highest, when they meant the most. He was a great leader. And how about this, Bresnahan? Rondo even was making outside shots, 3-pointers. So once he started doing that, that made him so tough to deal with. But the way he ran the offense, the way he instructed guys, the way he made sure that LeBron James had time to be off the ball at times, the way he could just tell things to AD. Think about this. The shot that AD made to beat the Denver Nuggets, Rondo goes to Frank Vogel and says, Frank, do you want me to go in the game?
That's
and
so
Frank
amazing.
says, of course. Well, who makes the inbound pass? It is Rajon Rondo to AD to his biggest shot in his career.
Bounce pass.
Over. Yes. How about that? So that tells you how smart he is and how he can also tell the coach, hey, Frank, you want me to come in the game right now, Frank? Yeah, I do, Rondo. Please go in the game.
Yeah, you know, this guy was fun to cover for the 2 years he was with the Lakers. Definitely another coach on the floor, a coach off the floor. And this is going to happen, all right? He was with the Lakers at or near the veteran's minimum salary for 2 years. So he has a good playoff run. He wins another ring. He becomes a hot commodity. This happens to championship rosters. You're not going to be able to retain everybody. So he got a good deal with Atlanta, a 2-year deal, made some decent money, and that would probably be the last contract of his career. I don't blame him, but he got that other ring out here.
Brez, who besides Rondo will the Lakers miss the most?
Good question. I'm going to go with Dwight Howard. I think he had a really nice bounce back year. I covered him the 1 year he was here with the Lakers in 2012-13. I was with the LA Times. It did not go well. I think that's fair to say. That might even be an understatement. The fan base did not rally around him. He was injured when he came into the season, coming off surgery. He was supposed to be the guy to get Kobe that next championship. It dissipated in the first round. Tons of injuries that year. Fast forward to this year, and Dwight really did himself a big service. I mean, he was embraced by the Laker fans. One of quite a few stories of retribution on this Laker team, and just really, really cool to see it happen. A nice job by Dwight to come back and kind of redeem himself. That might be a better word than retribution, and show the fans what he could do for this franchise.
BT?
Man, Geeter, I agree with Mike Bresnahan.
That hurts.
That's boring.
I got to go take a nap. You're right.
What happened?
Look, something happened. I need some wine. That's what it is.
No, I mean, what happened, Dwight?
I think, look, I don't know how that deal kind of got sideways, why he took a veteran's minimum so soon. He was the only player on Friday to take a deal for $2.6 million. Had he had a little bit more patience, I think he could have remained with the Lakers. I'm not sure. But the one thing I will say about Dwight, he played hard. He was a physical presence. And Brez, how about this? He was also a really good interview when he decided to talk to the media. He was funny. He was engaging. He talked about green apples. He had all of us wanting to go out to buy apples, to eat them, so we could lose some weight. I tried. It didn't work for me, but it was a thought.
You tried. You look good, BT.
I did.
You guys both look great. Don't kid yourself. Still ahead.
Green
the
apples.
biggest move is still. And what a first season in LA for AD. This tweet from Woj. ESPN sources, Anthony Davis is on course to return to the Lakers, but don't expect a formal commitment in the immediate hours and days after free agency opens. Davis will take time to consider the structure and length of a new max contract. And it took us about 30 minutes into the show to finally get to AD. I guess that's a good thing. It means we're not that worried, right? So BT, per Woj's tweet, AD is discussing the structure on his new contract. How do you see this playing out? What do you think this contract looks like?
That's interesting, Gator, to really try to figure that out. He can sign a 1+1 for about $68 million, and he can opt out after the second year. He can sign a 3-year contract but opt out, a 4-year contract, a 5-year contract. Yeah. He has all those options. But I think the first two, 1+1 for $68 million and the 2+1 for $106, are the ones that make the most sense for AD, because it gives him a chance to, again, see what the Lakers are going to do next season, see what they're going to do the following season, and also it gives him a chance to maximize his income and his earnings, because the salary cap is not going to go up this year. It hasn't been going up. It won't go up next year. So why wait? Why rush into this, I should say? Take your time, because he's still, 27 years old? He still has room to grow, to improve. But if you want to maximize your financial earnings, I think it's best that he sign no more than a 3-year deal.
Yeah, BT, I'm with you 100%. Larry Kuhn, the salary cap guru, was on our air the other day, and he laid out the reasons why he thinks it'll be a 2+1, because 2 years gets AD to that magical 10th year. That's when you can get the giant contract. So I do feel that a 2+1 will be in AD's best interest. Hey, the Lakers would give him 5 right now if he wants. Yeah, they can go up to 5. Of course, they'd make that happen in a millisecond if he wants it. But for him, eventually the salary cap will start going up again. The repercussions from the COVID shutdown will have abated. It could be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. Whenever the money starts to trickle back in, the sooner the better, don't get me wrong. But it makes sense for him to at least sign for 2 years. That would be my guess.
All right, Prez, you're still on the clock. We're going to assume AD is back. We're not worried. This is a good team. Give me your starting lineup, Brez. Here we go. Opening night, December 22nd.
Yeah, I think I'll put AD in that starting lineup.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good start. AD down at the power forward. I got LeBron James in there, of course. I like Montrez with this group. Let's see what he can do as far as defending other big men. Give AD kind of room to roam. Get some weak side block shots if he wants that. KCP and Schröder are your backcourt. Schröder really improved his defense the last couple years. He was a liability when he started his career with the Atlanta Hawks. But this past season, he was 15th in defensive win shares. That's individually among all NBA players. By contrast, Danny Green, the guy he was traded for, was 85th in defensive win shares. So Schröder, only 6'1". He's not long and lanky like Danny Green was. Different type of defender, but very scrappy. He's going to get in your face. I think he'll bother other teams' point guards.
Yeah, Brez, that's a great starting lineup. I was going to ask you guys if Schröder would start or come off the bench. What do you have, BT?
Well, I'm awake now. I disagree with Mike Bresnahan. My guys are Anthony Davis at the forward, Marcus Gasol at center, KCP at one guard, Wesley Matthews at a, let's say, swing position, and LeBron James at point guard. I like this lineup because I want Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schröder coming off the bench to give you offense, production, which is something Lakers didn't really have last year. So you have one guy, Montrezl, averaging 18 a game. You have Dennis averaging 19 a game. Mike, that puts a lot of pressure on any other team's second team defense. It also puts pressure on a team's first team defense. That's why I like that starting lineup, and because you have it the other way. I like it better.
I feel like, though, if I asked you for closing lineup, which will be on the next show, you would have taken Brez's lineup. I got a feeling.
Because I won't, because Brez said that.
Okay. All right. So, listen,
it.
This team, guys, as constructed right now, is great. Yeah. It's different than last year. Is it better? I know it's early and we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
On paper.
1,000%. And I'm going to go to the second unit. Say BT's right for once in his life, and Schröder and Montrez come off the bench. You've got those two. You've got Kyle Kuzma. You've got Caruso. You've got Markieff Morris. I mean, that five right there gives you such stability compared to maybe some of the reserve units we saw this past season. And right now, all we're doing is splitting hairs. The Lakers went 16-5 in the playoffs, had an amazing run. They are the champions. But yes, I think their second unit, if BT gets his way, is very, very highly upgraded. And hey, KCP's back with the big contract. I think everyone's pretty happy on this team.
What do you think, BT?
I'm going to be like a coach right here. Until they win the championship, they are not better.
Ooh.
How can they be better than a team that just won the NBA title, Mike Bresnahan?
Okay.
So you have to prove that you are a better team by repeating. And they haven't done it yet because guess what? They have not played one game yet. As a matter of fact, they haven't even practiced yet, Mike Bresnahan.
True.
So no, right now it is not a better team because they haven't played together and because the other guys won a title and without one of their best players in A.B. Bradley. So take that, Mike.
But on paper, would you say this roster is better than what they had constructed going into last season?
Hey, Bress, the last time I checked, games are played on the court, not on paper.
Coach BT. Coach BT coming up. 11-year NBA veteran Wesley Matthews brings to the Lakers 13.1 points per game career average, 38% from three. That dipped a little bit with the Bucks last year to 36%. The Lakers family is keeping it in the family, as they say. A couple of names we'll be seeing on the back of the jerseys that are going to seem familiar. And, of course, BT, Wesley Matthews Sr. won a couple of titles for your Showtime Lakers, 87, 88. I know you like that storyline.
I love that. I mean, Wesley Matthews' dad was an interesting character, shall we say, but he was also very talented. He was also a very quick point guard, someone that Magic Johnson told me last week that he loved playing with and he loved being around him. And then, of course, you have the Gasol brothers. I mean, that is such a sweet thing to say, the Gasol brothers. And they get traded for each other. I mean, so the Lakers, if you're looking at just a family tradition, I mean, that's a magical thing to have. And they won championships. So now the son here, Wes Matthews, is trying to do what his dad did, trying to win an NBA title. And as Bresnahan said, on paper, this is a better team than last year's team. So I guess Wes has a great chance at being just like his dad, a champion playing for the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, Brez, imagine 32, 33 years later, you win a title with the same franchise your dad did.
Very
and,
cool.
Of course, Powell is one of your favorite players ever to cover.
Yeah.
His brother Mark is back.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Like, I remember getting the jump on the Powell trade. I was at the Detroit airport back in late January, early February 2008, and I wrote about how the fact that they were giving up, other considerations to get Powell. And I didn't mention until paragraph 8, as Dan Wojcicki pointed out to me today, that Marc Gasol was part of that other consideration. I mean, it was that big of a deal, and to get Powell, it's like, all right, who else went? Whatever. And sure enough, Marc Gasol, when he started with the Lakers, when he was drafted by the Lakers, never played a game for them, he was kind of overweight. And the Lakers said, we're going to stash him away for a year or two. He could be good someday. So they had the definite instinct that this guy could be a player in the league. But when it comes time to get someone good, you have to trade one for the other. And Powell obviously worked out pretty well for the Lakers. It would be cool to see the umbrella kind of come together. And now Mark wins one along with his brother.
Did you scoop the Powell trade over BT?
Yeah, we were working together. We were at times together, I think.
Oh, interesting.
I think.
Okay, gotcha. We can discuss off air. Look at these other notable moves around the league. What? Chris Paul. He's gone. He's with the Suns now. Drew Holiday's with the Bucks. Love that trade for them. Steven Adams going to be catching lobs from Lonzo. Gordon Hayward. Celtics lose him for nothing. Gallinari's with the Hawks. He's going to be playing with Rondo. Serge Ibaka across the hall from the Raptors to the Clippers.
Yeah,
so
it's a good pickup for the Clips.
For the Clippers. It's time to play a little fill in the blank in the spirit of the old Match Game TV show. Brez, you'll always go first.
A lot of pressure.
The Lakers' biggest off-season move was blank, Brez.
Acquiring Schröder. I just love this ever since the news broke that it was going to happen. This guy is an instant playmaker, which the Lakers need. All right, they had a very good one in LeBron James and Rondo, but this gave them insurance in case Rondo left. He got a very good deal in Atlanta. He's gone. Schröder, really, really a good shooter, good scorer. And you're telling me, Geet and BT, the Lakers traded for a guy who was the second leading scorer and second leading assist guy on a very good playoff team. Remember, OKC lost in 7 to Houston. 2 points is all that separated them in that Game 7. Schröder, very talented player. Whether he starts or comes off the bench, good pickup.
Someone prepped for this game. The Lakers' biggest move this offseason was blank, BT.
Bresnahan is right for the second time in this show.
He's having a great show.
He's having a great show. And Bresnahan, you're right. But here's another thing we have to remember about him. He's a good passer, and he's really good at getting downhill and throwing lob passes to his teammates. And based on what I understand about him also is that he's grown and he's evolved quite a bit from the kid that was in Atlanta that liked to go out and party like Bresnahan still does these days.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, you're right about that.
It's a good place to go.
And look, he's a really good shooter, good player, and he gives the Lakers instant offense off the bench, and that's why I'll say again, he'll be a reserve. Bresnahan.
You might be right.
Besides the Lakers, the team that has had the best offseason is blank.
The Milwaukee Bucks. All right, it could have been better, but the fact that they got Drew Holiday, you just mentioned that trade, I love it for them. All right, Bledsoe, not real good in the playoffs the last couple of years, really icy cold in the bubble just a couple short months ago. Drew Holiday, he never gets cold. I mean, this guy is one of the best on-ball defenders, good shooter, good playmaker. I think he's a very nice compliment to Giannis and that guy right there, Chris Middleton. Excellent pickup for this team. And I think they did a very nice job. Had they gotten Bogdanovich in that reported sign and trade that really didn't happen, then they would have been a really good possible championship contender. They still are, but I still put the Lakers ahead of them.
BT, besides the Lakers, the team that has had the best offseason.
Laker fans are going to hate this, Geeter. The Boston Celtics. Number one, they re-signed Jason Tatum, who is, let's not forget, one of the top 5 talents in the league. And they also went out and got Tristan Thompson, someone that they needed because their center position was maybe a big hole for them. But having Tristan, who's tough, who played with LeBron James, won a title in Cleveland, he is someone that can roll to the basket, play good defense, rebound the ball. So Mike Bresnahan, it is the Boston Celtics again.
Let's talk.
I think you forgot they lost Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Let's talk individual players. Blank landed in the perfect spot.
I'm going to go with Montrez. I mean, he does have to leave his home in L.A. He can just kind of keep going wherever he wants to go. In Los Angeles, he's just on a different team, right down the hallway, and the Lakers need a big man. Dwight's gone. JaVale is now obviously gone. I think this guy will be great for LeBron and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has made it clear he doesn't love playing center. Okay, he did in the finals when he needed to. Finished plenty of games at the 5, but Montrez can now say, look, I'll play 30 minutes at center, whatever you want. I'm here. I'm ready. Show me exactly what to do.
BT, blank.
Serge Ibaka.
Oh, okay, there you go. Serge Ibaka.
Okay.
Yes, you know why? Because he goes to a team that can contend for an NBA championship.
Yes, good point.
He goes to a team that has a very good coach in Ty Lue, and he goes to play with a former teammate in Kawhi Leonard. And because of his ability to run the floor, play good defense, block shot, Serge will get a lot of playing time playing for the Clippers, and he'll be able to show everyone that he's still a very good player in this league. So the best place for him was no doubt the LA Clippers.
All right, Mike Bresnahan, blank are the biggest challengers to the Lakers' title hopes.
I think the Clippers. You know, I would have said a year ago. I'm going to say it again. I like what the Bucks did, but the Clippers, to me, just kind of can maybe get to the Lakers. Very physical team. Their obvious issue is they've never been past the second round, BT. I know you've covered them for a while, along with the Lakers. I don't understand their issues with getting past the second round. I do like Serge Ibaka. That's a good save after losing Trez. But I think this team is a little bit irritated, a little bit anxious, definitely eager to have another shot at the Lakers. I think they're the second best team in the NBA.
BT, blank are the biggest challengers to the Lakers' title hopes.
You know what, Peter? That was a tough one to really decide on.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the Denver Nuggets and the Clippers.
Ooh.
Let's not forget, the Denver Nuggets did beat the Clippers last year, Mike Bresnahan. They were down 3-1 in the series and came back and won. And I like the Clippers because they still have Kawhi Leonard. They still have Paul George. They added some pieces to their team. They have a new, fresh coach in Tyronn Lue who do things differently. But Denver, man, they have the Joker is damn good. They have Jamal Murray, and they got this kid, Michael Porter Jr. shows no fear.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked those two teams, because I just can't quite figure out which one will be better.
They got Millsap back too for $10 million, coming down $30 million. So it's a pretty good deal for them.
Great teams this year. Nobody picked the Nets, Sixers, or Bucks. I like it.
Gotta
You guys are
see
sticking
more
with
from
the
the
West.
Nets, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
word just in, Brez. I thought this was your best game you played, and still the control room voted for BT as the winner.
What
I thought you
more
were
do I
up
have to do?
25. I thought you were.
He agreed with me on everything I said the entire show. I mean, what more is the control room want?
It's amazing. I don't know what you did to the control room, but the votes came pouring in.
That is just what I thought I'd
You want to
want.
recount? Or you gonna...
Yeah, for sure. They'll be hearing from my legal team. I'm not real happy about this.
Not gonna concede, are you?
I'm not declaring a loss. Nope.
Ladies and gentlemen, BT is the champion. Don't know how, but he pulled it off. Good job, BT.
That's just not right, BT.